Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late, but just had some last minute, preparations to do before show got started here. Glad to see everybody's here. Yes, anyway. Make sure that All right, so we're just waiting around for more people to show up, of course. Hopefully everybody's having a nice week thus far as we coming down towards the end of it. Hey, there we go. Yeah, so as I said, we're just gonna wait a few minutes to give people a chance to pop in. Walking through a town in a faceless crowd, I need to feel the touch of a friend. In the countryside, I wander far and wide. The isolation gets me again. I don't know where to go when I feel like crying. Oh my, it's time to open myself. Do something new, I want to stop and grow up a bit. Then suddenly my intuition and my wisdom grow. And then I know that most of all I send compassionately from strangers wherever they go. Thank you for waking me up. Let me see. Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon, 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 Pokemon. Let's do it. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was, ever was, ever was. Catch them, my real test. Train them is my cause. My whole life has led to this. Time to test my skills. I know I just can't miss, but it's sure the one. Born to be a winner. Johto, born to be champion. Born to be a winner. Born to be the very best. Pokemon Johto. Born to be a winner. Pokemon. Let's see. Let's see now. We are the truth. We are. Get along, gang, get along, gang. Each one's special in their own way. Coming up, get along, gang, get along, gang. Get up with the get along, gang. And when it's okay, get up with the get along, gang. Ah, get up. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish when I eat my spinach. Popeye the Sailor Man. Defenders of the earth, defenders. Straight to the galaxy, faster than light. Bow. Flash Gordon, Lord of the jungle, the hero who stalks. The beast call him brother, the ghost who walks. Phantom, defenders of the earth. Master of magic spells and illusions. Enemies crumble with fear and confusion. Mandrake, defenders of the earth. His strength is a legend, his will conquers all. Up with his power, we never will fall. Lothar, defenders of the earth, defenders of the earth. Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man. And they got hit by cosmic rays. No need to fear, they're here. Just call for 4. Fantastic 4. We got a third person. Hello. How you doing tonight? And just in time, because it's probably a good time to start talking about. And thank you for the like and the share, of course. You can help out by sticking around. Anyways, so here we go. So what's on tap for tonight? So we got 8 articles we're gonna go over. 5 anime related and 3 comics related. Of course, the anime related articles include one that's kind of comic and wrestling too, and I'll get to that in a moment. But we're gonna talk, of course, a little bit about. Apparently, there's a Dragon Ball OVA that can only be seen on Xbox. One of the articles we'll be looking at. Also, the Chainsaw Man, they've got the trailer out already for that anime adaptation coming out. Let's see. There's a huge response to an anime music video from Shelter. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the quintessential quintuplets movie coming out, and what are some of the most heartbreaking rejection scenes in anime. Also, on the comic side of it, as punishment, AEW's Danhausen made AEW World Champion CM Punk buy him a whole bunch of comics. Let's see, there's some other stuff as well coming from that side of it as well. Let me see. I know that we have some news from Z2 and Valiant Comics, as it were. Let me just double check those. See, well, I know on the Valiant comic story, apparently they're going to now be going down. They canceled one of their comics and cutting back 1 release per month, and then let's see, and there's a new book coming out from Z2 from the co-creator of Gorillas and Tank Girl. So that's basically what we're going to be looking at tonight. 8 articles go over. We're going to start with anime tonight because we have more of those, of course. We can get Alright, so without any further ado, alright, so we're caught up there. Anyways. Alrighty then, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the articles here. Now almost up to the 12-minute mark here. Well, anyways. Alright, so here's the first article we're going to be looking at. Let me into this a little bit here. The Dragon Ball anime you can only watch on Xbox. Dragon Ball OVA from the 2010s contains an intriguing story about Goku's father. So why is it exclusively available on Xbox of all places? Article Jonathan Green. Now, originally when I selected this story, it was within the 1 day periods. Now 1 day ago, of course, but I'd already selected this, so that's why it's still here. Normally, I won't have anything that say 1 day or greater. So, anyways, it's never been easier to watch anime than it is today. Most of the time, viewers simply need to log on to their favorite streaming service, search the show's name, and hit play to dive right into the action, which is true. However, it isn't always been this way. Anime history is littered with shows that got distributed in weird or unusual ways. One of the most bizarre has to be Dragon Ball episode of Bardock, which can only be viewed with an Xbox 360 and the infamous Kinect peripheral. Okay. Dragon Ball episode of Bardock began life as a short manga in the pages of V-Jump magazine, with the first chapter launching in 2011. It was a spin-off of the popular Dragon Ball Heroes arcade game and acted as a sequel to the 1990 TV special Dragon Ball Z Bardock, the Father of Goku. The special that made Bardock into a popular character. However, the manga was not written by Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama, but Naho Ooshi. It also got an OVA anime adaptation in 2011 made by Toei Animation as part of the Dragon Ball SSSS project. A lot of S's, huh? Let's see. This project aimed to promote new spin-offs and projects based on the Dragon Ball franchise. The plot of Dragon Ball episode of Bardock. Is that Bardock or Goku right there? I wonder. Dragon Ball episode of Bardock is a quote unquote what if story that asks what would have happened if Bardock had survived his encounter with Frieza at the end of Dragon Ball Z Bardock, the Father of Goku. This OVA starts with Bardock waking up on planet Plant, that the world that became planet Vegeta. Planet Vegeta. Okay, Planet Vegeta. Yeah, I can see that. That's all the whole vegetarian idea, right? Plant vegetation. Right? After the Saiyans conquered it, Bardock is confused, realizing he has somehow ended up in the past. Somehow he is soon forced to fight space pirate minions of Chilled of Frieza's ancestors. One of Frieza's ancestors. Bardock dispatches them and goes away to recover. In the meantime, he befriends Barry, a young child from Planet Plant. However, when Chilled arrives and starts attacking the village, Bardock decides to help, especially as he believes Chilled to be Frieza. When Chilled fires at Barry, Bardock enters Super Saiyan form and kills Chilled easily. In his final moments, Chilled tells his underlings to warn his family about Super Saiyans, creating the Saiyan legend that is mentioned several times throughout the Dragon Ball franchise. Why episode Bardock is difficult to access in North America. The Dragon Ball episode of Bardock OVA was shown at Jump Festa 2012, but was made available to stream online until late December 2011. After this, the only way to get it was to buy the March 2012 issue of Psycho Jump, which came with a special DVD containing the OVA and Dragon Ball plan to eradicate the Saiyans. However, Psycho Jump was never brought to America, and the streamed version was region blocked, stopping American fans from watching it. Region block, which I think means that you couldn't, for whatever reason, it was blocked in our country. You couldn't really watch it for some reason. The only way to watch the OVA in America was to buy a copy of the critically panned Dragon Ball Z for Kinect. Not only was Super Saiyan Bardock one of the playable characters, but a subtitled version of the OVA was included on the disc. To this day, this is the only way for North American fans to watch the episode of Bardock. This is made even more interesting as Dragon Ball Z for Kinect is one of the few Dragon Ball games that was never released in Japan, being made specifically for North American and European fans of the franchise. You would think somebody would come along and dub it, though, for the dub fans. Episode of Bardock is a fascinating bit of Dragon Ball history, showing one of the many times Shueisha and other companies have tried to expand the franchise in new directions. It's also funny to think there exists a Dragon Ball OVA that is only available via a video game, and that despite this era of mass streaming, it hasn't even left that medium. Especially as the game in question is linked to one of the video game industry's most notorious and panned peripherals. Yeah, I would imagine though that if this gets a little more publicity here, if this particular OVA starts getting a little bit more publicity, maybe somebody might decide to re-release it in sub and dubbed form. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if anything happens with that. Now that somebody's actually come out and said something about it. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see though. How do we get ready to move on here? Let's see if Alright. Alright, so anyways, okay. Alrighty then, so getting ready to move on to the next article now. Alright, Chainsaw Man. Alright, there we go. Alrighty then. Let's get on to this one then. Chainsaw Man trailer, release date, plot, and news to know. After the manga debuted in 2018, the highly anticipated anime release of Chainsaw Man is set to hit television screens in October 2022. Oops, we were not trying for that. Anyway. Right, so Chainsaw Man hit bookstore shelves in 2018 and looked like they joined in 2018 together, and immediately caught the attention of readers around the world. The violence, bloodshed, and subversions of shonen tropes captivated readers, and in 2021, the series became the 7th best-selling manga series of the year. As of June. Okay, before I continue on, of course, Chloe's barking, so I gotta go tend to her. So I'll be right back. So I'll put some music on for you guys to listen to as I go tend to her. I'll be right back. back now, so let's go ahead and move on with the article here. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Violence, bloodshed, and subversions have shown in tropes captivated readers, and in 2021, the series became the seventh best-selling manga series that year. As of June 2022, the series sold over 13 million copies worldwide, and that number is expected to rise once the anime adaptation begins. Now, if people start watching the anime, there's going to be more interest in reading the manga as well. Despite the first part of the story reaching its conclusion, Chainsaw Man's popularity and reception among audiences has made it an instant classic. Hmm. After concluding its first serialized manga series, Five Punch, in January 2018, Tatsuki Fujimoto was back at work to deliver another exhilarating series for his audience. Much like Fire Punch, Chainsaw Man presents itself as a dark fantasy packed with violent action and dark comedy. Fans of the series were quick to discover that what lay dormant beyond the continuous action was a bittersweet narrative where the true pulse of its power took the spotlight. Chainsaw Man won the Best Shonen Manga award at the 66th Shogakukan Manga Awards and the 27th at Manga Barcelona, as well as Best Manga in the Harvey Awards in 2021. I wonder if Harvey Awards has anything to do with Harvey Comics. I don't know that. But anyways. The plot of Chainsaw Man. Okay, so here we go with this. The story of Chainsaw Man follows a young man named Denji, who is tasked with paying off his father's debts to the Yakuza by working as a devil hunter. Those with the title of devil hunter seek out, hunt, exterminate devils that wreak havoc on Earth. Denji is soon betrayed by his Yakuza employers, and in order to save his life, his companion Pochita merges with Denji, becoming his heart and turning him into the eponymous Chainsaw Man. Imagine merging with a dog and then becoming a half man, half chainsaw creature. Denji soon becomes wrapped up with Makima, a high-ranking public service, it's supposed to be servant, devil hunter, taking on dangerous jobs to wipe out devils that threaten the safety of Japan. He quickly becomes acquainted with fellow devil hunters and even devils themselves, changing his once very simple life forever. Time, Denji begins to discover that all is not quite what it seems. Chainsaw Man has thus far been collected into 11 volumes, completing the public safety arc, part 2 of the series, simply titled School Arc, in quotes there, began serializing in July 2022, so just last month. While little is known about how much the anime will adapt, Chainsaw Man is expected to be divided into 2 cores with an estimated 24 episodes. This gives Studio Mappa ample opportunity to cover the first 52 chapters, leading to the conclusion of the Bomb Devil arc. Fans of Chainsaw Man are in for a treat, with Mappa producing the anime release. following their phenomenal work on beloved series such as Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen. Be interesting to see when it comes out on Toonami. If it does, I think Chainsaw Man could fit right in with Toonami as well. I don't know. Chainsaw Man might be a little too graphic. Well, Toonami did show Attack on Titan, so I guess it's possible. Anyways, continuing on with and then the trailer, and I think you can go see the trailer on YouTube as well. Yeah, let's see that. What you've done to me. Yes. All right, there we go. All right, from June to December 2021, MAPPA released 2 teaser trailers lasting 1 minute, showing quick glimpses of the blood-soaked mayhem that awaits its viewers. Since the second teaser released in December last year, the anticipation for any news reached new levels of excitement and impatience on August 5th, which was last Friday. 2022, fans were treated to a full Chainsaw Man trailer, giving an in-depth look into several fan favorite characters. The audience is introduced to a tortured and melancholy Denji, always adorable Pochita, Power, Makima, and Aki Hayakawa. The trailer featured key moments from the manga, including scenes from the Bat Devil arc and dialogue alluding to the Gun Devil. Chainsaw Man released a season 1 release date. While Chainsaw Man won't be part of the summer lineup, its official release date is confirmed for October 2022. This premiere date places the series in good company with a fall lineup that includes Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War arc, basically the latest Bleach arc to be animated, and part 2 of the revered Spy Family series. Like other MAPPA projects, Chainsaw Man will be available on Crunchyroll streaming service, which will simulcast episodes every week. While fans will still need to wait a while longer to know exactly when the highly anticipated series airs, the trailer should serve the audience well that the series is on its way and will make the debut later this year. So, in other words, they're hoping that the trailer will serve as a good appetizer for the main series, basically. Get a little taste of it now, and then when it comes out, you'll be ready for it. Your taste buds will be ready for that particular anime. So, all right. Anyways, now we'll get ready to move on to the next story here. Oh, here. Okay, so give me a sec, because I think I do need to make some lighting. Apparently, things are not as may be able to take all the coverings down already. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Oh, there we go. All right. So anyway, I'm getting ready to move on to the next article here. What prompted such a huge fan response to the anime music video for Shelter? Porter Robinson and Madion's Shelter captivated anime fans, positioning anime into the mainstream media. Article by Ederlin Peralta, published 14 hours ago. It's been 6 years since Porter Robinson and Madion blessed the world with the iconic synth pop anthem Shelter. United anime fans and hardcore EDM fans, such a large fan base, it was obvious that the song would be well received in mainstream music. However, what was more unexpected was the mass following of anime fans who enjoyed the song and the music video that goes along with it. This makes why exactly Shelter, in quotes, garnered such a large fan base worldwide a topic well worth exploring. Musical origins of Shelter. Shelter is a collaboration between two producers, Porter Robinson and Madion, who are close friends in real life. Thus, their collaborative song is the product of their friendship and passion for music. The song consists of lead vocals by Madion, who stated that he got the inspiration for the lyrics from his parents. The lead melody consists of chopped up vocals, a signature sound of both artists, and other musical elements from their debut albums, Porter Robinson's Worlds and Madion's Adventure. Excuse me one more quick moment. I'm going to step away from the camera just for a quick second. I'll be right back. Oh, there's that. That may be my, yeah, that was my comment. Be right back. Right, I'm back. Let's continue on with the article here. Okay. The official song premiered on August 11th, 2016 on Medion's YouTube channel, but the official animated short film was released on October 18th on Porter Robinson's YouTube channel. So that's interesting. Uh, Robinson worked in partnership with Crunchyroll and the anime studio A1 Pictures, which produced Anohana and Engage Kiss to create a music video that complements the song. He spent a year working with A1 Pictures, resulting in a successful animated short film based on Robinson's original storyline that matches his musical aesthetic. Let's see how the shelter storyline relates to the lyrics. Here's the video. In the short film, Reen, a 17-year-old girl lives alone in a virtual simulation. She controls the world, creating scenes on a tablet that become quote unquote reality in the simulation. One day, she sees memories of her life as a 10-year-old living in Tokyo in a virtual simulation that she didn't create. I wonder how she ended up in that virtual world to begin with and why. But I'm sure that the film and movie and all that would tell us as we would watch it. Through Reen's memories, the audience learns that an asteroid-like object was on a collision course with Earth that would wipe out civilization. Reen's father, okay, so this is, I guess, how we're finding out she ended up in a simulated world. Reen's father, Shigeru, made the most of whatever time he and I think it's supposed to be his daughter, not her daughter. His daughter had left together on Earth. However, he also built a single occupant spacecraft with life support to help her escape. He erased all memories of himself and Reen's life on Earth and instead programmed her memories into the simulation. He wrote a letter to her explaining the situation. When she is older, he hopes that she will be understanding of the circumstances and the choices he made. In a bittersweet ending, the audience discovers Reen trapped in the spacecraft for 7 years. Whoa. Whoa. That could be problematic too because once she probably gets out of the spacecraft, she can be able to move around. Her muscles will have atrophied probably by that point. We can continue on here. The short film perfectly represents the song lyrics that are said to be about parental love. In the music video, Reen's father, Shigeru, built a spacecraft for his daughter. Kind of similar to Superman and Kal-El, huh? It's his way of protecting her and giving her shelter from the catastrophe, as evident from the lyrics. All right, anyways, I gotta step away from the computer again. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. am back. Sorry about that. Uh, all right, sorry about that. Had to. Actually, I'm gonna have to probably just go out and come back in real quick. So I'll be right back here. Gonna go. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, I did have to step away for a quick moment here. Um, sometimes sometimes my screen just gonna does strange things in terms of. All right. Oh, we have a third person in here. Hello. Hopefully, we're gonna get back into that article here real quick. All right. So continuing on with what we're just going over here. Sorry about all the stuff going on here, guys. Just and they left again. Oh, sorry about that. All right. So, anyways, let's see. Where were we? Evident from the village. Quote, and I know I'm not alone. You'll be watching over us until you're gone, unquote. In the end, Reen narrates that her father will always watch over her in spirit and live in her memories. Thus, she knows she is not alone in the simulation. The song lyrics further reflect on the relationship between parents and children. In the first verse, quote, "Cause I left behind the home that you made me, but I will carry it along," unquote. These lines are about leaving home, but still holding it close to one's heart. Reen constantly uses her imagination to create new environments to explore and live in, but she keeps her memories close to her wherever she goes. Hmm. Shelter's mainstream popularity and worldwide success. Okay. Come on, you. All right. Just past the hour mark. That's a good thing. Okay. We already read that. Okay. Shelter wasn't the first time that Western musicians and animation for their music videos used animation um, for their music videos. Some of the most popular of these include Daft Punk's "One More Time" and Gorillaz' Clint Eastwood. However, with these animated music videos, the audience's attention gravitated toward the song more than the video. Fans were more interested in the musical artists than the creators of such music videos. For example, Daft Punk's "One More Time" music video was directed by Kazuhisa Takanouchi under the guidance of Leiji Matsumoto of Space Battleship Yamato fame. Although this should be considered a breakthrough for Japanese animation, the music video went under the radar from the public since anime wasn't as mainstream in the early 2000s as it is now. However, when it comes to Shelter, fans enjoyed the music video and the song equally. One possible reason for this is that it's a collaboration between two name brand companies, A1 Pictures and Crunchyroll, which is already buzzworthy news among fans. Furthermore, the anime and manga industry has slowly caught the attention of mainstream celebrities over the years, making it a contemporary trend. The music video has a similar aesthetic that matches A1 Pictures animation. From a visual perspective, the images and scenes easily capture the viewer's attention. From the soft pink filter on Reen's hair and a room to the natural scenery, the video showcases a balance between technology and nature. One thematic concept to point out is the relationship between creativity and loneliness. It is in isolation when a person's creativity thrives, which is the case for Reen as we see her imagination in full bloom. Every image in the music video is mesmerizing, showcasing the high quality animation of A1 Pictures. A1 Pictures, of course, some of the other works they're known for, I think, include Fairy Tale for one. I think they might have also done some, well, no, not Attack on Titan, but I know Fairy Tale in particular. Shelter explores some significant themes such as parental love and sacrifice. In the beginning, the music video presents its audience with an upbeat song featuring an optimistic girl enjoying her life in a virtual simulation. Soon after, the video progresses into a sad story about familial sacrifice when the audience learns the real reason why she is in the virtual simulation. The ending leaves audiences with a bittersweet feeling. Audiences admire the father's sacrifice for his daughter. I don't know why they keep saying her daughter. Somebody's a little screwy there, ain't they? His daughter also feel empathetic about her situation. In just a short period, the music video captures some dramatic feelings that anime fans experience when watching sad and bittersweet series such as Anohana, The Flower We Saw That Day, or Planet. Um, Fans constantly praise this music video for how it captures dramatic storytelling and character development that is on par with many anime series. Shelter is the only collaboration to date between Porter Robinson and Madeon, and although Japanese animated music videos have been around for a while, Porter Robinson and Madeon's creation is unique. It premiered at a time when the anime and manga industry were slowly slipping into mainstream media, helping to open the gateway for more recent anime and music collaborations, as evident with um, Billie Eilish's "You Should See Me in a Crown" and Cardi B's "I Like It" Japanese anime version. So, anyways, there we go with that one. I think we have a couple anime stories to go through, and then get to the next one. And before we, of course, into this, I'll need to step away from it because I think I need to turn on the light here now. I think we are getting to the point where I need to probably. There we go. And I'll be right back again. Right, I'm back. All right, quintessential quintuplet movie is about sisterhood not being the, in smaller quotes, chosen girl. Quintessential quintuplet movie is easily one of the best movies of 2022 as it concludes the beloved harem and a wonderful love story. Article by Mahan Arsalan, published 13 hours ago. All right. It's a challenging task to find a good harem anime. Seasoned viewers would agree that it's time for the industry to movie away from tired. Okay, I think it's supposed to be move, not movie. Move away from tired tropes established by the genre. Since harem series are targeted toward a young male audience, the genre can feel alienating to other anime fans. Luckily, Once in a Blue Moon, a series, arrives at breathes back life into the genre. Quintessential quintuplets, based on the manga by Negi Haruba, is such a series. Let's see. While the anime adaptation should have covered more manga chapters with a detailed season 3, it was announced that the series would conclude with a feature film. While content cuts were made, the film is still made. The film it still serves as a satisfying. Okay, I think the film is still serves as a. It still serves as a. Okay. It still. I think the film doesn't need to be there. Either the film or it still does not. They both don't need to be there. One of them, one of those two sets of sayings could probably be taken out. Film serves as a satisfying conclusion. Quintessential Quintuplets movie was released in Japan on May 20th, 2022. It has since earned over $16 million at the box office and is a domestic hit. It's one of the best anime movies of 2022 and finally concludes the Nakano Sisters saga. The movie is a continuation of the series, which was welcomed by fans with open arms. Starting the movie from scratch would have broken the magic the 2 seasons worked so hard to build up. So they basically ran 2 seasons and used a movie to conclude the series. That's a way to go for it. All right. The quintessential quintuplets movie is based on the final 4 volumes of the manga. The second season ended with the biggest harem cliffhanger of all time. Which of the series Futaro decides to marry? I think it's supposed to be which of the sisters Futaro decides. Man, there's some goofy typos here. While fans of the manga know how the story decisively ends, anime-only fans get to enjoy an exclusive twist. The film chooses to have Winter's identity a secret. That's exactly what makes the movie all the more exciting. It's not about happily ever after. It shows in detail why Futaro chose one of them. The way the movie builds up to the ending is very well done. It doesn't indulge in the romantic elements right away, nor is it a senseless fight to quote unquote get the guy. The movie is actually more about the quintuplets and their relationships with each other than anything else. Each sister has been portrayed as a quote main character unquote, rather than any one sister being the center of attention. The anticipation and the anxiety are founded thanks to the intense buildup the film portrays. Yeah, and a lot of harem anime usually play out where one character kind of has the inside track to eventually get the guy, and the other characters, try as they might end. But I guess what they're saying here is that all 5 sisters are, considered the main character. They've all. It's like the way they portray it. All 5 sisters here in this case have a legitimate equal shot to get the guy. Whereas in a lot of harem animes, usually one of the characters usually does. You kind of figure out early on or by halfway through the series, one of the characters has the inside track. Let's see. Okay. They've truly explored what each quint stands for. And even though they disagree on everything, they are still sisters at the end of the day. Hmm. There's no animosity, sabotage, or even an quote, I wish I weren't your sister moment. Which we see a lot. Like, cattiness! Cattiness! No cattiness in this anime. That's what they're saying. Which probably is kind of a refreshing thing. No cattiness. Each Nakano sister wants to be the girl Futaro chooses, but on the other hand, they all are somewhat afraid to see each other hurt, since it's also a time when they have to pick a course for their life or a career that appeals to them. The decisions they make or the emotions they harbor would affect everything. It's true. The movie may be the only thing the franchise offers solid character development. It is a dense 2 hours and 16-minute long film, which does its best to do justice to the final 4 volumes of the quintessential quintuplets manga. In all honesty, it's storytelling at its best. Undoubtedly establishes itself as one of the best harem anime of the last decade. Man, the more I read about the more I read and learn about this anime, the more I want to watch it. I like harem animes. You know, I'll be quite honest. I like they're fun to watch. It's a lot of guys' fantasy to have 3 to 5 girls all kind of vying for your attention, as it were. So, anyways, we have one more anime article to get through, and then we will probably head over to the comic stuff. Why won't we play motion? All right, the most heartbreaking rejection scenes in anime. Fans love a good confession scene, but not all end in a lovey-dovey relationship. Here are some of the most heartbreaking rejection scenes in anime. Um, Article by Rivnia Aldiak, published 11 hours ago. Okay, so love confessions are a fan favorite trope and a great plot device in anime. But not every character who gets a chance to tell their feelings receives a happy ending, which is true. While it takes courage to open up and put your feelings into words, there are instances where heartbreak becomes a reality. Although heartbreak caused by a failed love confession may not be devastating compared to, for example, the profound sadness of losing a loved one, being rejected, especially at a certain age, can leave a deep scar on one's heart. Here are some of the most brutal rejection scenes that left the viewers with heartache or made them cry along with whoever got rejected. Wow. Ah, Subaru loves Amelia, not Rem. Hmm. There's no doubt that one of the most heartbreaking rejections in anime was in regarding Zero, when Subaru told Rem that he is in love with someone else. When Rem was rescued by Subaru, she started to see him as a savior, a hero that saved her in every way possible, and in every way a person can be saved. After dying, being reincarnated several times, and everything the two have been through, Subaru ended up being the one and the only one in the eyes of Rem. Rem's the girl, Subaru's the guy, I guess. When Rem found the courage to confess her true feeling, she gave an impassioned romantic speech, explaining everything she loved about Subaru, even his fingers. Wow! However, it seems Subaru wasn't impressed, as he somehow managed to make Rem's uh, moment about himself and reject her by saying that he loves Amelia. In time, Rem moved on, but the scene remains one of the cruelest rejection scenes. Whoa! Wow! Ouch! Minori loves Ryuji, but so does Taiga. Alright, let's see what this one's about. Oh yeah, this one's from Toradora. Oh yeah, this is a quite a Toradora is actually about two characters, Taiga and Ryuji, who agree to help each other to get closer to their love interest. However, at some point, the initial plot changes and the series becomes a love triangle, or square. On Christmas Eve, Ryuji finally decided to confess his feelings to Minori after giving Taiga her Christmas present in a bear suit. He went to find Minori without wasting any time. Before he could even start talking, Minori rejected Ryuji by telling him she no longer wanted to see ghosts and UFOs, referring to a previous conversation they had a year ago. Later, without letting him say anything, she left the scene, leaving Ryuji shocked and speechless. What Ryuji didn't know, however, was that right after he left Taiga's place, Taiga subtly confessed her feelings to Ryuji. Ryuji. Um, while Minori was watching from afar. Although Minori also had feelings for Ryuji, once she saw her best friend screaming and crying out loud about Ryuji, Minori decided to keep her feelings to herself. Rather than the scene itself, realizing what a selfless decision Minori made left the audience heartbroken. It's like, wow, that's kind of, and I do kind of remember some of that because I did watch that series. You had a lot of very impassioned characters in that. Mugi's feelings are mocked by her classmates. The Netflix original anime A Whisker Away was not the biggest success of 2020. Still, Mugi's confession scene deserves time in the limelight. Um, from the very beginning of the film, protagonist Mio Sasaki, or Muge, was trying to cope with her feelings toward her classmate Hinode. Although she couldn't get close to him during the day like she wanted, at night she transformed into a cat named Taro and was visiting Hinode. Finally, Muge decided to write a letter confessing her feelings and present it to Hinode in class. However, before she could deliver the letter to him, a bully snatched it from her hands and started to read it aloud as Muge chased him around the classroom. At last, Hinode intervened and took the letter from the hands of the bully. While the viewers are expecting a delicate rejection, the embarrassed Hinode publicly declared that he hates Muge to save face. Oh man! Which makes Muge run away into. Oh my god! Dude, that is just a total jerky way to reject somebody. Oh my god, are you that vain or something like that, dude? Man, that's awful. Telling somebody that you hate that you hate the person who's crushing on you in full public. That's just cruel. Just nasty cruel. Sasuke put Sakura under Genjutsu. Yes, I've watched Naruto. I remember this. I'm sure many of us have. See what this is all about here. Sakura rejected more than once by more than one person in the Naruto franchise. However, the scene where she was rejected by Sasuke before he joined Orochimaru remains one of the most painful rejection scenes, both in the series and in anime in general. In a desperate attempt to stop Sasuke from leaving, Sakura confessed her feelings without any preparation or plan and told him that I think it's supposed to be that, not that. Um, wait, okay, no. And told him the love she feels for him is unbearable. However, sadly, her words did not affect his decision. By thanking her and acknowledging her feelings and everything she has done for him, Sasuke demonstrated he is not as heartless as he looks. However, to stop Sakura from following him further, he put her under Genjutsu, leaving her unconscious and in tears. Although Sakura is not a fan favorite character, and her most outstanding personality trait is her feelings for Sasuke, no one deserves to be knocked out after confessing their feelings. Alright, I don't know if she's that. First off, okay, that may be this writer's opinion. I don't think Sakura is as disliked though as this writer wants to make it sound. I mean, I know it's kind of funny. Sasuke rejected her at first, and she, of course, would in turn reject Naruto and all that mess. Of course, but what we have to also remember is that she does, by the time we get to Boruto, she does actually end up with Sasuke. They are husband and wife, and we see, of course, their daughter Sarada, who is teamed up with Naruto's son Boruto in the team where it's actually their daughter that wants to become Hokage, and Boruto's kind of like he could care less, but he doesn't care for the Hokage at all because he feels like his father, who is the Hokage at the point of time in his life, should put more of his focus on his own family instead of the village. So, all right, the bear curry rejection. Last but not least, Lovely Complex's bear curry rejection scene is gut wrenching. Koizumi and Otani started out as rivals who couldn't stand one another. However, later they realized that they have plenty of things in common. Although Koizumi was the first who fell for Otani, she couldn't immediately bring herself to express her feelings. Once she confessed, however, Otani misunderstood and thought that Koizumi was only expressing her friendly admiration. In her second attempt, she was less prepared and basically shouted it at his face so he could understand without getting confused. Okay? I'm gonna confess my love by yelling in your face that I love you. Okay, yeah, that's gonna probably end real well. I'm gonna yell in your face that I love you. That's gonna end real well. Uh, um, Otani did not give an immediate answer and asked for time to think. Eventually, during their school trip to Hokkaido, Otani told her that he could not see her as a girlfriend while holding a can of bear curry. The rejected Koizumi brushed it off by laughing and told him not to worry. However, once she got back to her friends, she couldn't find the words to explain what happened and cried by mumbling the words bear curry in quotes over and over again. To this day, this tragically comedic scene is the first one that comes to mind when talking about rejection scenes. Wow, that is quite. I mean, that was a pretty good article there. Now we're going to, of course, get into the comic articles here. So I can get to the one that. There we go. And this one adds some crossover appeal with the wrestling aspect to it too. Let's see. All right. So let's see now. And with that, of course, we also have to also. All right, so here we go. Let's get started on this one. AEW CM Punk, who is currently the AEW World Champion, reluctantly takes Danhausen comic shopping in a hilarious vlog. Now, for those of you who don't know, Danhausen is his full name Donovan Danhausen. He's a wrestler, of course, in AEW. He's kind of a goofy kind of guy. You know, kind of talking in almost like an Igorish manner, and like talks about putting curses on people and all that. He's funny. He's kind of funny. He had the short-lived tag team of Hookhausen, where they paired him up with Hook, aka Tyler Seneca, aka Tyler's son, to kind of help give Hook a little bit more personality thrown in there. Anyways, take Danhausen comic shopping in hilarious vlog. So let's take a look at this. In a hilarious vlog or video log, All Elite Wrestling star Danhausen forces CM Punk to buy him expensive comics as penance for quote unquote stealing his finishing move. Really? Which one is that? The go to sleep or the Anaconda Vice or the Pepsi Plunge? I wonder which move that Danhausen is going to try to say CM Punk stole from him. Article by Noah Dominguez, published 16 hours ago. So let's see. Okay. All right. So in the latest, quote unquote, Vloghausen, AEW wrestler and noted curse enthusiast Danhausen forces lineal AEW World Champion CM Punk to buy him valuable comic books for allegedly stealing his finishing move. Now, we're going to also talk a little bit more about CM Punk a little later in the wrestling roundup after we get through the articles here, because there's some news on that too. Anyways, in the vlog, Danhausen and CM Punk pay a visit to Comic Pop Collectibles booth at C2E2 in Punk's native Chicago, which I'm guessing C2E2 is a comic convention in Chicago. The very nice, very evil Danhausen wastes no time in asking for the most expensive comics in stock, knowing that Punk will be footing the bill. Punk, meanwhile, looks on in frustration, no doubt thinking about a sizable elbow drop his bank account is about to endure. Yeah, like Macho Man Randy Savage flying elbow drop. Oh yeah! Yeah. You just look at CM Punk's face right there, like, oh God. Hey. While at the booth, Danhausen picked up a number of graded books, including Giant Size X-Men #1, first appearance of Storm, Colossus, Thunderbird, Nightcrawler, and more, priced at $4,500. Incredible Hulk #181, first full appearance of Wolverine, priced at $3,500. Amazing Spider-Man #129, first appearance of The Punisher, priced at $6,000. Marvel Family #1, first appearance of Black Adam. Marvel Family. So that they're talking about the Fawcett. So they did a few Marvel comics there. Marvel Family #1 was done by Fawcett Comics. That's where the original Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, was originally from. It was originally found in Fawcett Comics. priced at $3,800. And X-Men number 4, first appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, including Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, priced at $2,400. Danhausen also picked up an ungraded copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 1, priced at a whopping $25,000. So let's see here. $4,500 plus $3,500, that's $8,000. Plus $6,000, that's $14,000. Plus $3,800, that's $17,800. $1,800. Plus $2,400, that's $20,200. 45. So Danhausen made CM Punk by over 45 grand worth of comics. Like, wow, that is one hell. That's basically like having. Let's see, who are some of the famous guys who used elbow drops in their career? Let's see. That's like having Macho Man Randy Savage, Perry Saturn, Jay Lethal, and Max Caster all coming down on you at the same time. It's like having 4 guys from all 4 corners coming down on you all at the same time there. Holy moly. That's over 45 grand right there of comic sales, of money that CM Punk, I guess, had to pay as penance for quote-unquote stealing Danhausen's finishing move. So, wow. Wowie, wow. That's something else. Imagine somebody saying you did something so terrible to them that they made you pay, they made you buy them $45,000 worth of comics. Really? I told you Danhausen was goofy. It's unclear if Punk actually bought all of these comics for Danhausen or if he was simply committing to the bit. If it is indeed the latter, however, the best in the world's acting chops definitely shine through in the blog, as he certainly has the facial expression of someone who is just strong-armed into spending over $45,000 on comics, though at least it wasn't $9 million, as Danhausen claims in the video's thumbnail. That's also a humorous amount, in which Punk flatly declares that, quote unquote, nobody likes Black Adam. To which Danhausen replies, quote, I'm gonna tell the Dwayne you said that. Danhausen is goofy. He is so freaking goofy. Love that Danhausen. As for the dispute that started all of this, Punk is well known for using the go to sleep or GTS as his finishing maneuver. Now, that move, of course, what he's talking about is, for those of you who don't know what that is, Punk puts the opponent up on his shoulders in like a fireman, in basically fireman's carry, and then presses him off his shoulder. And as he drops the guy, and as the guy is falling, he will bring his knee up to basically knock him out with his, he basically presses him up off of his shoulders into a knee strike to the face. That's a go to sleep. Basically, that's Punk taking the guy from the fireman's carry, pressing him up, and then dropping the guy face first across his knee. The move was originally created by Japanese wrestler Kenta Kobayashi, who WWE NXT fans will likely know as Hideo Itami. During Punk's years-long retirement from the ring, Danhausen began using the move as his own while making his name on the independent circuit. Punk having returned to work to the world of pro wrestling, Danhausen believes he is owed compensation for Punk's continued usage of the move. He's using the problem with using that line. Well, okay, Punk was using it first off. If anything, Danhausen should be paying Punk, or better yet, maybe they both should be paying Kenta Kobashi that money. He was apparently the one who actually created the move. Anyways, doesn't seem like a strong case, but Danhausen himself is very strong, and disagreeing with him is likely to get you cursed. In addition to both being professional wrestlers, Danhausen and Punk are both avid fans of comic books. In fact, Punk has even penned a number of titles for Marvel Comics. Okay. Danhausen, meanwhile, actually appeared on a variant cover for Image Comics Commanders in Crisis number 10 last year. That said, his aspirations in comic industry go well beyond that. This is definitely something I'm going to try to bring up probably the next time we're on RJ's stream on Sunday. This story is just funny, and I'm going to have to ask James about this. His take on this would be just because it's just a funny story altogether. Quote: This kind of was sprung on Danhausen out of nowhere, but it was quite nice, unquote. Danhausen said of the Commanders in Crisis cover during an interview with CBR in July 2021. Quote: So maybe if this one does well, it will lead to Danhausen being on more comic book covers. And then it will lead in turn to Danhausen being in his own comic book. Yeah, that would kind of be an interesting comic book, I'd have to say. I mean, it's not heard of like pro wrestlers getting their own comic books as well as cartoon series or even manga series. Let's see. For those of us who grew up back in the 80s, you might remember Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, right? The Saturday morning cartoon that NBC co-produced with the WWF at the time. Of course, it was canceled after one season due to the general nature of wrestling storytelling and how, sometimes, because I think by the time the series ended, like, for example, Captain Lou Albano had become a face. He was still being depicted as a heel in the cartoon show. So that kind of stuff going on. And then, of course, over in Japan, the original Tiger Mask, Satoru Sayama, based his character off of a manga character from back in the 60s, Tiger Mask. Or the Tiger Mask manga back 60s that was eventually adapted into an anime in the 70s and even in the 80s. So it's not unheard of that wrestlers getting into comics or cartoons or anything like that. I just gave you two examples right there. Let's see now. Where are we at? That's a goal of Danhausen's. It's on the printed out bucket list. Unquote. Danhausen a Danhausen comic might be an interesting comic to read, just because the dude is kind of goofy. He's kind of funny. The mix of his comedic talents with, his acting ability and all that, and his character work would be interesting to see how that all panned out in a comic book. So that being said, let's get ready to move on to the next article here. This one right here. Oh, yeah. All right. Anyways, I'm going to need to step away from the computer one more time here. I'll be right back. You got some music to listen to. Alrighty then. So with that, let's get moving on to the next article here. We're up on 2 hours here, so in a good time here. Gorilla's Tank Girl co-creator Jamie Hewlett's new book features never before seen comics. V2 Comics announces Fu Action Silver Jubilee, a new art book telling the history of Jamie Hewlett's work on Get the Freebies and Fu Action. Article of Ren Tour, published 14 hours ago. All right, so Gorillaz and Tank Girl co-creator Jamie Hewlett is collaborating with Z2 Comics for a new Fu Action Silver Jubilee art book featuring some never-before-seen comics. Fu Action is a 2008 BBC television pilot based on Hewlett's comic strip, Get the Freebies, which first published in a UK magazine titled The Face from 1996 to 1997. Fu Action Silver Jubilee will collect the entire 12-part Get the Freebies comic in English for the first time, along with several other previously unseen features. Along with Get the Freebies and Fu Action, Hewlett is known for co-creating Tank Girl with Alan Martin in 1988 and for starting the virtual band Gorillaz with Damon Albarn. So here are some of the images they're showing us here. In addition to Get the Freebies, Fu Action Silver Jubilee includes a never before released introductory comic for a second season that was never completed. The introductory comic comes with a prose novel from Matt Wakeham, co-creator of Fu Action and writer-curator of Fu Action Silver Jubilee, explaining how the following chapters would have played out. Quote, Fu Action Silver Jubilee showed the origins of Whitney Action, a cynical teen and potty-mouthed heroine. Okay, that's always very attractive, huh? Huh. Alongside Terry Fu, a hapless kung fu super cop. Unquote. Z2 said of the book, quote, born from counterculture superhero chic and hyperactive premillennial Angloism, the comic features the pair waging a two-person war against the mutant Freebies gang, led by an outlandish, hysterical crime boss with a basketball for a head. Interesting. Interesting. Some interesting anthropomorphism here. Additionally, Fu Action Silver Jubilee features a new cover piece from Hewlett celebrating Terry and Whitney's 25th Terry and Whitey's, I guess, 25th anniversary. Original illustrations from artist Philip Bond, The Invisibles, Kill Your Boyfriend, and more. Previously unseen character and development artwork pieces by Hewlett. Wakeham will also pen a foreword for Fu Action Silver Jubilee, explaining the entire oral history of the project. I am so extremely grateful to be their current custodian and curator, and that I still get to be a creative collaborator in their world too, unquote, Wakeham said. Quote, this book is my open love letter to some of the funniest, most reprehensible, and inspired underground comics of the late 20th century. From the hand of one of Britain's leading cultural luminaries, Mr. Jamie Hewlett, unquote. Fu Action Silver Jubilee comes from Z2 Comics, Hewlett, and Wakeham, and is available in standard hardcover and deluxe hardcover with a clamshell cover formats. The deluxe hardcover additionally comes with enamel pins, magnets, and embroidered patches. The art book is available for pre-order now on Z2 Comics website. So there we go. So we got one more article to go through, and then we finish with the articles, and we'll be able to get some wrestling roundup in. All right. So this is the other big story I'll be covering here. Alrighty then. Fairly good, okay. Anyways. Alright, so here's the last of the articles I'm going to run through. Valiant cancels Archer and Armstrong, cuts back to one release per month schedule. Writer Steve Fox announces Archer and Armstrong Forever #4 is the series' last issue. Valiant Entertainment cuts back to one release per month. Article by Brent Shore, published 9 hours ago. Valiant Entertainment's Archer and Armstrong Forever series is ending after 4 issues, while the publishing company will now be putting out one release per month. Writer Steve Fox announced the already released Archer and Armstrong Forever #4 would be the last issue of the series on the Fox Gospel newsletter. So yeah, so Valiant seems to be sinking fast, doesn't it? Quote, obviously this was not the original plan. Print issue, at least, still ends with the cover for #5, and we were originally solicited through #6 to, unquote, Fox posted. Quote, the whole creative team was comfortably ahead of schedule, but plans changed late into the game and will now be stopping at #4. While I am, of course, disappointed that readers won't get to see the rest of the original plans anytime soon, I am extremely grateful for the 4 issues we got out there and for the entire experience. Unquote. Fox thanked the creators involved with Archer and Armstrong Forever, including Marcio Fiorito, Alex Guimaraes, and Hassan Othmane El Hau, Bernard Chang, Rostein, Ted Brandt, Dan Hipp, David Talaski, Chris Wildgoose, Nick Robles, Erica Henderson, David Romero, Marguerite Sauvage, Joe Quiones, Phil Hester, Andy Kuhn, Joe Prado, Second Rocket Comics, and Pablo Collar, and editors Rob Levin and Audrey Meeker, along with George Katzman, Nick Osborne, and Danny Ward. Despite the early cancellation, Fox also encouraged readers to check out the first 4 Armored and Archer Forever issues, noting that the final release has a, quote, New Hope style ending, not a brutal cliffhanger. Oh, we have a third person in here. Hello, third person. You have anything you want to comment on here as we're finishing up here? And if you can also like and share the stream so we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Anyways, continuing on with the article here. Quote, there are no hard feelings between the creative team and Valiant, and I'd work with them again in a heartbeat, unquote, Fox said. Quote, part of the benefit of spending years bouncing around every aspect of the industry, from the book market to freelance editorial to running a comic site, is a sense of context. While comics are an art form, they're also a business. Sometimes business decisions result in series ending sooner than expected. It's not impossible that we'll see the rest of our plans one day, but for now, I am grateful for the experience and the collaborative process, extremely flattered by the nice response we saw from both Valiant diehards and newcomers alike, and choosing to feel good about contributing these 4 issues to the ongoing legacy of Obadiah Archer and Aram Anipada. If you were one of our readers, thank you for coming along the ride. Valiant's future publishing schedule. All right. See, so here's what say about that. On August 11th, Valiant Entertainment released a statement highlighting its upcoming titles, while also indicating the publisher will be putting out 1 new release a month for the foreseeable future. Bloodshot Unleashed, a new adults-only series from writer Denise Camp and artist John Davis Hunt, launches on September 21st. Issues 1 through 4 will be released monthly. It looks like Valiant is having some hard times where they're down to like only publishing 1 book a month. If that one doesn't sell, Valiant might be shutting its doors by the end of the year, the rate they seem to be going. Book of Shadows, a crossover series which launched in July from writer Cullen Bunn and artist Vicente Cifuentes, will return in January 2023, following Book of Shadows, Conclusion, Exo, Man of War, Unconquered by Becky Cloonan, Michael W. Conrad, and Liam Sharp, will launch in March 2023. So they do have some ideas for some books coming out in the near future, but yeah, these books don't sell though. The company's gonna go down in flames. So, anyways, that's all that we have for the comics articles tonight. I'm kind of sorry for the person who came in, during this last article because I had a pretty funny article about that had some wrestling connections too, about Danhausen of AEW fame, having his own book. So that one kind of interesting. So, anyways, with that, guys, before we head out, of course, we have some wrestling updates, wrestling roundup to do a little bit here. So first off, going toward the WWE, there has been some talk, of course, that Bray Wyatt, they may want to try to bring Bray Wyatt back. Just don't have any ideas on what they're going to do. One of the loudest people to say wanting Bray Wyatt back is, of course, recent WWE returnee Karrion Kross with his valet Scarlett. As Karrion Kross has said that he would like to see Bray Wyatt come back so that he and Scarlett could face him and Alexa Bliss in a Hell in a Cell match. So stay tuned for that. Maybe a communication breakdown or what have you, but it was also mentioned that Cody Rhodes might be coming back soon here. So he was on a promotional flyer for a show up in Toronto and later this month, where they said he might be facing Seth Rollins. As far as anybody knows, though, he's not due to come back yet, but they said that venue may have inadvertently spoiled a return. Of course, WWE is working its way towards Clash of the Castle, which I think is sometime in September there, where you'll have Roman Reigns defending both titles against Steve McIntyre. With that as well, moving on to some AEW news. On last night's AEW Dynamite, Jon Moxley retained the interim world championship over Chris Jericho, forcing Jericho to tap out to, I believe it was a sleeper. And then, of course, the JAS, the Jericho Project, decided to jump in the ring in the Blackpool. So there was a bit of a melee between JAS and Blackpool Combat Club as the members of the Blackpool Combat Club came out to help Jon Moxley out after the gang up by the JAS, and then making his supposed return to AEW as he's still recovering from his foot surgery. CM Punk, the AEW World Champion, who we talked about earlier in that article with Danhausen, he's now apparently coming back. They're looking for a possible match between Punk and Moxley to unify the world titles, the interim and the actual lineal AEW world title. As Moxley, after Punk, helped save Moxley, Moxley didn't seem to be having it, deciding to flip off CM Punk and give him a bit of a shoulder block as he was leaving the ring, and giving a shoulder block to Claudio Castagnoli on his way out. So that story will be developing over time. And then, of course, Jade Cargill had a successful title defense over Madison Rayne. Now, according to WrestleMania, that was a good match, but some of the ratings and scores I was reading on Cage Match, there were some fans out there who were not overly impressed with the match. They felt Madison may have been a little too slow of foot at this stage in her career, and trying to ask um, Jade Cargill, who's still fairly green in the ring herself, to carry the match made the match look awkward. But apparently, according to Cage match went fine. Cargill. Now, based on what I saw, the comments and stuff like that, I think Cargill may be getting pigeonholed into the classic um, big man, or in this case, big girl syndrome. On the guy side, it's kind of something that guys like Hogan, like superstar Billy Graham, Jesse Ventura kind of fell into, where they had some personality, they had good looking bodies, but they didn't really have a lot in terms of wrestling skill. These guys were power guys. These guys were guys they'd bring in from the gym. Teach them a few rudimentary moves and then throw them in the ring. That's basically what I think they're doing with Cargill here. She's like 5'10", 160 from what I understand. They basically had her dominate, but when I was looking back on the matches she's had, apparently she now granted AEW schedule we talked about last night, and we were talking about Mira and stuff like that. Their wrestling schedule isn't as hectic. You're not having the, and part of that, you have a lot of, you have, at times it does seem a little top heavy. And the other matches, of course, that were on the night, Luchasaurus defeated Anthony Henry in under a minute. I think Ricky Starks defeated Aaron Solo, and then La Facción Ingobernables to the Lucha Brothers. Also, they're still talking. Should be seeing it soon that AEW will be holding a trios tournament or a 6-man tag tournament coming up. That will be getting some highlights in it. So, anyways, also one last bit for the wrestling roundup. Impact Wrestling, which of course tomorrow night will be Impact itself, and then on this Friday is their Emergence pay-per-view. And on that card in the main event, of course, you got Josh Alexander defending the Impact World title against Alex Shelley. You have the Bullet Club taking on Honor No More in a 10-man tag match. If Honor No More wins, presumably Mike Bennett and Matt Taven will get a Impact World Tag title shot against the Good Brothers. If Honor No More loses, they will be forced to disband. Tomorrow event, Mike Bailey will be defending the X Division title. Jack Evans, Jordan Grace defends the Knockouts title against Mia Yim. The Knockouts World Tag Team title, Tag Team Champions. Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie will be defending against a team known as Vex, DXT, Chelsea Green, and Diana Purrazzo. So that looks like what's all happening. There are, I think, a few other matches as well happening. Those are the main ones that we're talking about here. So, anyways, we're coming up on 2.5 hours here. Let me just check one more thing for wrestling purposes, because tomorrow night we know is Rampage. Let me see if there are any matches that have been announced for Rampage yet that I can kind of mention or report on. So, let's see what we got here. All right, so some of the matches that have been signed for um for tomorrow's Rampage include Orange Cassidy, accompanied to the ring by the tag team best friends Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, taking on Ari Daivari of the Trustbusters, accompanied to the ring by Parker Boudreaux and Slim J. You have Danhausen and Eric Redbeard teaming up to take on the Gun Club of Austin and Colton Gunn with Billy Gunn in their corner. Sonny Kiss will be taking on Parker Boudreaux, who now on last night on not last let's see on Tuesday's Elevation, they were showing that Sonny Kiss was involved in a trios or 6-man tag match against the Trustbusters, and Ari Daivari apparently made some kind of offer to Sonny Kiss to join the Trustbusters. So that all plays out. And then the opening match for the opening match of the night, we'll see for the AAA World Mixed Tag Team title, Sammy Guevara with his newly wedded wife, Tay Mello, Tay Conti, whatever you want to call her, will be defending that title against Dante Martin and Sky Blue. So that's what's on tap for tomorrow night on Rampage. With that now, guys, I know we've been at this for a while, so we start to wrap things up a little bit here. As I think it's a good time to get to this day in each history, as today being Thursday, August 11th. Let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So, first off, on this date 15 years ago today, I have a couple of things. First off, on this date 15 years ago today, Bronco Lubitsch, who was a former wrestler, manager, and referee, probably for some of us who may have grown up, for those who may have grown up in the Dallas, Texas area and watched a lot of the World Class, they probably remember Bronco as the referee there. He's on the booking team. Prior to that, throughout the 60s and into the early 70s, he was a wrestler, teamed quite a bit with Aldo Bogni, until he retired from in-ring competition in 72 to focus more on managing, and then eventually retired from that to become a referee. Well, on this date, 15 years ago today, Bronco Lubitsch would pass away at the age of 81 from natural causes. On this date, 15 years ago today, passed away. And 2007 is just so nice, we're going to hit it twice. As also on this date in 2007, the OVA Bludgeoning Angel Dokoro-chan second premiered on this date back in 2007. So on this date, 2007, Bludgeoning Angel Dokoro-chan second OVA premiered on this date. There's only 2 episodes. The first episode was on August 11th, and the final episode was on November 10th of that year. So on this date in 2007 as well, Bludgeoning Angel Dokoro-chan second premiered in Japan. So anyways, moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history. On this date, 12 years ago today, All right. So, anyways, on this date in 2010, first issue of Morning Glories would would um would go on sale on newsstands on this date back in 2010, 12 years ago today. Sold for $3.99 and 48 pages. The story was written by Nick Spencer. Joe Eisma did the art. Lettering by Johnny Lowe, and Alex Talazzo did the coloring. So on this date, 12 years ago today, Morning Glories #1 was released went on the sales on newsstand from Image Comics. And finally, on this date, this date 5 years ago today, from Open Road Films and Toonbox Entertainment, the animated movie The Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature, premiered in theaters on this date in 2017. 5 years ago today, the animated movie The Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature, premiered on this date 5 years ago today. Well, I thank everybody for being here tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night we will be, RJ Carter will be joining me. We'll be continuing our look back to April of 1939 with the April of 1939 in terms of comics history. We'll be looking at some of the books that went on sale from Centaur Comics, Amazing Mystery Funnies, Teen Detective Funnies, Star Comics. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night. And till then, bye.